Hi, my name is Paul Watson. I'm the Head of Disability Inclusion here at Winchester University. I'm here to talk to you today about DSA, support, and generally transitioning to university as a disabled student. So what do we mean by disability? When we're talking about disability in the context of higher education, we've got to be really clear about this. And I appreciate that not everybody identifies with the word disability. However, a disability is protected under the Equalities Act, so it's quite important to understand what we mean by this. Now, when we talk about disability, we're talking about a long-term physical, sensory impairment or learning difficulty that has a substantial impact on your day-to-day life. That is, it makes things more challenging for you to do everyday activities. And that includes learning, that includes accessing information, that includes research, all the things that you would do at university. So when we talk about disability, we're doing it from a good, supportive point of view, and that's why we use that word. There are lots of ways that students can get access to support at university, and there's lots of different avenues, and it can feel a little bit overwhelming and confusing, but hopefully we can take you through this step by step. So the big one is the Disabled Student Allowance, or the DSA. Now, the DSA is a non-means tested grant that comes from student finance, and what that does is it helps pay for specialist support. It'll provide one-to-one support, assistive software, technology, and more, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. The other side is what the university does itself. These are the adjustments and anticipatory adjustments that we make ready for you and when you're here at university to make sure that you're supported. And we do that through something called a learning agreement. Again, I'll touch on that in a little bit. If you're studying an apprentice, a degree apprenticeship rather, then the funding and the support is slightly different. Most of your time will be spent in the workplace, but when you're here at university, you're still eligible and able to access the same support as the undergrads. So that's the one-to-one support through academic skills and student support and success, but also there is funding for more specialist support through the Educational Skills and Funding Agency, and we can take you through that when you join us. The other thing worth mentioning is PIP, Personal Independence Payments. If you're receiving PIP already, then the money you get from PIP can be used to support with your non-academic needs. So that might be personal care, that might be cleaning, that might be travel. So it's worth looking into PIP if you haven't done so already to see if that can support you. But be warned, PIP is quite a long process, so it's certainly worth doing now before September. Let's talk about the Disabled Student Allowance. Now, the Disabled Student Allowance, as I said previously, is a non-means tested grant. What that means is it doesn't matter how much family income that you have, it doesn't matter how much household income that you have. If you have a support need, then the DSA will provide that one-to-one support, but you need to be able to evidence that through either medical evidence or diagnostic evidence. The DSA requires students to prove, if you will, that you have a disability, and there's quite stringent and clear evidence types that the DSA want you to provide. So please look at that on the government website before you make any applications. The good thing about the DSA is that the money that you get from it doesn't go on your student loan. You're not going to have to pay this back. It's not going to be added to your overall debt, and I know that's a concern for lots of students, but this is a way of making university fair and equitable and giving you the same quality and chance to study as those who don't have a disability. Now, the DSA can only be used to support your learning. It's not going to be given to you to support housing and accommodation costs or food costs and so forth. The DSA is very clear on what it provides, and that grant will be spent on one-to-one specialist support, assistive technology, travel support, printing and ink and so forth. And you as the student, you won't see that money. It's not going to be put into your bank account. You're not going to be responsible for how that is spent and who it is spent with. It cannot be used to support housing or fund the cost of living. It is only to help you engage with your learning and make it fair and equitable against students who don't have that additional needs. If you do need extra support through care and PIP, then some DSA providers can offer a mixture of care and learning-based support. So it's worth talking to your needs assessor when you have your DSA assessment about this if you are thinking that you'll need the personal care as well as the academic support. But DSA is here to support you academically, to help you engage and complete the degree. Funding for housing and outside costs do have to come from the student and other means. So applying for the DSA, if you've looked at this online, if you've read into it at all, it does feel a little bit complicated and it does feel a bit convoluted. It's not, but there are certain stages that you have to do to get through the DSA. So the initial one is the application. Now you can apply for DSA through your student finance portal or through the DSA government website. Both of them can be searched really easily on Google or other search engines. It's an online application. It is a fairly lengthy form that will ask for lots of details that you have shared already with the student finance company, but they need to match up so they know who they're supporting. And it requires you to provide evidence. So if you're applying for dyslexia, dyspraxia, or another learning difference, then you've got to have an educational psychologist assessment or a specialist assessment by a dyslexia specialist teacher. For ADHD and autism, then you're looking at a formal diagnosis of ADHD and autism. Similarly, for physical needs and sensory needs, you need to have that formal diagnosis. Unfortunately, that's just what the government asks for so they can ensure that the correct people are getting the right level of support. Now, once you've applied for DSA, it usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks for you to get a response, but you will then be asked to go for what's called a needs assessment. Now, a needs assessment sounds scary, but it's really not. It's a one-to-one conversation between you and an independent needs assessor who wants to spend the DSA money, and they're going to help you spend the DSA money. They will ask you questions about support, what's worked before, what hasn't worked. They will show you assistive software, technology and equipment, so you get to have a go, and you can direct then the DSA package that you're getting. It's not just an off-the-shelf DSA package, it's bespoke to you as the learner, looking at your individual needs and trying to work out how best to support you. You can take an adult, a trusted adult in with you as well. So if you've got a friend or a parent or a supporter that you want to take with you just to help you and to prompt you if you've forgotten anything, that's absolutely fine as well. But the needs assessor will sit down with you and work out what it is that the DSA is going to provide. Once you've done that, the needs assessor writes up a report. They send that to the DSA and they send that to us as the institution. So we have an understanding of what the DSA is going to provide you and how we can supplement and support that as well. So don't be surprised if you get an email from the disability team saying, we've received your needs assessment, come and see us. We'll do that across the summer and into the academic year as well. It could take about 10 days then between the needs assessment and the final letter, which is called the DSA 2 letter. And that letter will tell you exactly how many hours of support that you're getting, who the support provider is, and how you contact them. Once you get that document, start following the steps and start reaching out to the support providers and the assistive tech companies, and they will courier you your equipment and book you in with your one-to-ones. We will also get a copy of that DSA 2 letter, and then we'll reach out to you as well and ask you to come and see us. And we can help you book in that one-to-one support. We can help you make those appointments and get that ball rolling as well. So please don't feel that it's overwhelming and too much to do. We're here to help you. So what does the DSA give you? The DSA gives you all sorts of support, but it does depend on what your individual need is. For students with learning differences, you'll probably get one-to-one study skills. And this is someone who can support you academically, who can provide you one-to-one support with referencing, with researching, with structuring your assignments. And they won't proofread your work, but they will help you build up the strategies and skills that allow you to proofread and allow you to do that quickly. Now, the DSA study skills person is not going to be an expert in your chosen field. So you will need to bring that expert information to the sessions. But they understand how to be an academic. They will know how to write critically, how to write reflectively, how to get the best out of your research. So you will work in tandem with them and really benefit your overall degree through the DSA. Now, for those of you who are applying with ADHD, autism, or mental health needs, you'll likely get a study skills tutor, but you'll probably also get a specialist mentor. And this is a person who can support you with the non-academic side of university, the day-to-day being a student, the being an adult on your own at university. They can help you with planning, with structure, with setting up good processes at home. They can talk to you about the social side of university and how to navigate that. They're really there to support you with everything that is not academic. Both the study skills tutor and the mentor are likely to meet you once a week and you'll be given a certain amount of hours across the academic year that you can use. If those hours aren't enough or you run out of them, because sometimes students do, come and talk to the disability team. We can request extra hours through the DSA on your behalf. The university will also provide one-to-one support in a range of different ways for you. And this can be used alongside the DSA or can be used as standalone on its own. We have a range of different teams within Student Support and Success, including the disability team, the mental wellbeing team, the academic success team, students and money, students and journey. There is always someone who's able to talk to you and offer support. The difference, though, possibly between college and university is that you have specific teams who are experts. So the students and money team would be an expert in student finance, funding, and all of the budgeting needs that students have at university. Whilst the disability team, we're experts in all aspects of disability support. We're all based in the same building on the university's King Alfred campus in the Winton building, and you can come and book one-to-one appointments with us throughout the year and throughout the term. And you can choose. You can choose who you want to speak to. So if you particularly want to speak to a member of staff from the disability team, you can pick them and book one-to-ones throughout the year with them as well. But there's lots of support from the university. I haven't even touched on the careers service or the support that you get in the faculty from your personal academic tutor. There is lots and lots of touch points across the institution and lots of people you can ask if you are finding things difficult. Earlier, I mentioned learning agreements. Now, the learning agreement is the way that the University of Winchester sends out information to faculties, to housing, to the exams team, anybody that needs to know this specific information. And it could be really simple things such as advanced lecture notes or extra time in an exam. But a learning agreement is really important because it also communicates specific health and safety or medical needs. If you're a student who lives with seizures, then we would communicate how best to support you and what somebody would need to do if you were to have a seizure in the library, in housing, or in the class, so that you can be supported and kept safe. So the learning agreement is far-reaching and has lots of different touch points. And you would set that up with a disability advisor in the first few weeks of term, from welcome week on. We can set them up over the summer as well. So if you do want to book an appointment, please email us and we can look at that before you arrive and make sure that's all in place. But the learning agreement is key. That's the way that we communicate your individual needs to your faculty, to housing, to anybody that needs to know to ensure that you're supported, kept safe, and also so you know what support is available and accessible. Transitioning to university can be a big deal. You might feel very overwhelmed, scared, nervous, and excited, and these are all normal things to feel when starting university. Now, we can support you with that transition. The disability team work across the summer. We are very happy and open to meeting with students before September, getting learning agreements set up, checking that DSA is in place, and just answering any questions that you have before you start. And we appreciate that there are lots. For any parents and supporters, we know starting university is as big a deal for you as it is for your young person. So we are here to support and answer your questions as well. What we would say, before you start in September, please make sure that you've completed the additional requirements questionnaire. If you've disclosed a support need or a disability through UCAS or through application, then you should have been sent the additional requirements questionnaire. And you'll know if you have, because it's a massive document online. It's about 80 questions in a form. And this is our way of finding out what it is we need to do to prepare for you to start, and also give you a sense of what you need to do. The ARQ, the additional requirements questionnaire, the information is shared with lots of different teams, including housing, faculties, health and safety. So lots of people are brought into the loop to help with your transition before you get here. For those of you who are being invited to Winchester Wayfinders, Winchester Wayfinders is an early transition event aimed at neurodivergent learners. And we identify the learners through the additional requirements questionnaire. So if you've not done that, make sure you do it, because that's how we get the invite list. But the Wayfinders event is a quiet early start program that allows neurodivergent learners to move in 2 days early, to enroll quietly, to meet other neurodivergent who are starting at the same time as you, and also get involved with workshops, sessions and activities that help you move into university just a little bit easier and quieter. We also run a parent session across those days as well, so we can talk to parents and supporters about what to expect being a parent and supporter of a university student, and how you can support your young people to make that transition and sort of really stick with the university. But as I say, it is invited through our additional requirements questionnaire, so please, please, please make sure that you've done that to be able to be on the invite list. But it's a fantastic day, always a lot of fun. Lots of our students really benefit from it, and we do enjoy it. So please come and join us. That's it. That's all you need to know about transition and support at Winchester University. The disability team is based on the King Alfred campus in the Winton building, and we are here throughout term time and over the summer and vacation periods. So if you ever want to contact us, you can do. Please just email disability@winchester.ac.uk and we can arrange campus tours, we can arrange one-to-one meetings, we can answer any questions that you have about starting university. So please use us. We'd love to see you.